Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar, Building a Connected Product with Mobile IoT, a guide for developers, presented by GSMA and Huawei. I'm Kendra Chamberlain, and I'll be moderating this webinar. Just a few technical notes before we begin. If you'd like to download the slide deck, please click the Resources List button at the bottom of your screen. The webcast is being streamed through your computer, so there is no dial-in number. For the best audio quality, please make sure your volume is up. You can find additional answers to some common technical issues located in the Help button at the bottom of your screen. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on demand within 24 hours after the event. We will follow the presentation with a Q&A session. Please submit your questions using the Q&A button on the left side of your screen. Sam Brown, Project Manager for Mobile IoT at GSMA. Sam, please go ahead.
Thank you, Kendra, and thank you everyone for joining us today for the webinar to talk about building a connected product with Mobile IoT. So, as you say, I'm the project manager in the Mobile IoT team at the GSMA, and my specific area of interest is industry and ecosystem engagement. So after I share with you the latest view from the GSMA, we've got some great speakers today to talk to you. So we will have Raki Zhang, the Senior Marketing Manager of Quectel, to talk more about their availability of modules and development kits. Then Ronan Lebras, of the Head of Technical Strategy at Orange, who will take us through the capabilities of Open Labs. Martin Buch, an NB-IoT expert at T-Systems International, Digital Division, Deutsche Telekom, sharing his experience of forging partnerships with startups. And then finally, Weiquan Wang, a solutions architect at Huawei, will talk us through a recent success story. After that, hopefully, we'll have some time for questions and answers, so please keep your questions coming in throughout the webinar. So firstly, before we get into things, if you're not fully aware of the GSMA Association, just to let you know, so we're made up of around 800 mobile operators and 300 other companies from the surrounding mobile ecosystem. The GSMA is the point at where all the operators and companies come together to work on these topics such as mobile IoT. And we're also known for producing Mobile World Congress, which I'm sure is on your radar right now. So firstly, I wanted to just quickly go through with you an update for Mobile IoT launches. So this is our launch map, and we've currently now got 35 commercially launched mobile networks for Mobile IoT, so including NB-IoT and LTE-M technologies. The map is available and kept up to date on our website, so please take a look when you get a chance. As I mentioned, Ronan will go into lab capabilities in more detail soon, but from this you can quickly see that we've now got 29 labs around the world that can be accessed for mobile IoT development. The labs can be used for testing and developing your mobile IoT product or solution. Each of the labs is run either by an operator or vendor, and all of the details, including contacts for the labs, can be found on our website and is regularly updated. Then lastly, I just wanted to quickly tell you about the Mobile IoT Innovators community, which hopefully some of you on the line already signed up for. The community was created by the GSMA for anyone interested in developing a solution with mobile IoT technologies, and provides a way for the latest information from our supporting operators and vendors to get to you. The community is free to join, and once you've signed up, you'll receive our monthly newsletter and events. So please do that as soon as you can, and obviously you can look at the website and sign up at gsma.com/MIOTI. One last thing I wanted to mention on this slide is that you can see there's a range of modules and development kits for mobile IoT. Some of these Raki will talk about next, and there's a full list on our website that you can reference and link through to each of them. So please take a look on our website. So before I hand over to Raki, we've just got a quick poll question that we'd like to ask you today. The first question is, what type of event are you most likely to engage in to find out more about mobile IoT development? You can answer that by just clicking directly on the slide. We'll just give you about 15 seconds to answer that if you don't mind taking the moment to do that for us. So just looking at the answers to that, quite clearly people favor online content, which is great, obviously for today, and in the future we're planning some more online webinars and things, so please keep in touch and you'll find out more of that content coming up. So next, just a quick question on the best description of your company. So if you fit into one of these categories, please answer again on your screen. Just gives us a quick indication of who's online today. So I can see we've got some startups considering mobile IoT, which is great to see, and some other medium and large companies considering using it. Then quite a range of others, which obviously we can't catch everyone, but thanks again for filling that in. It gives us a good idea of who's actually there. So finally, everything I've gone through is available on our website and kept up to date. So our main site is gsma.com/IoT. So please take a look at that, and you can find it. You can navigate your way to everything I've gone through today. So now I'd like to hand over to Raki Zhang of Quectel, and he will tell us more about some of the available modules and development kits for mobile IoT. So Raki, thanks, over to you.
Okay. Thanks, Sam. So I'm going to my page. Okay. I'm Raki Zhang from Quectel. I'm a senior marketing manager responsible for the cooperations with partners worldwide. So Quectel is a module vendor. We can provide different modules in terms of IoT market. So today I will give you some information of our mobile IoT modules and how that Quectel can assist developers to start their development based on modules. Okay, so first let's have a look at several different modules. First one is BG96. This module is based on Qualcomm chipset. So the special features for this module is multi-mode. Yes, it supports Cat-M1 and Cat-NB1 and 2G. Besides, it supports Open CPU and GNSS integrated. The second one, BC95. This module, I'd like to thanks to the Huawei HiSilicon team and also Quectel team. This is based on Huawei HiSilicon chipset, and this module achieves extremely low cost and low power consumption. So it's very suitable for the battery sensitive devices. Next is BC68. This is a smaller size module, which have the same functionality with BC95, but with you can see with a very small size. It's 17 by 16, almost that, much smaller than €1 coin. And next is BC66, based on MediaTek chipset. So this module supports OpenCPU as well, and we can support release 14 by software upgrading. So to make it clear, I list a table in the right side. You can see what different module support, and I hope it can help our customers, our developers, to select the most suitable modules. Okay, next, I will show you how Quectel can accelerate the development. Quectel can provide the evaluation board kit, which you can see in the board. There is modules, there is power supply, and SIM card slot, also with antenna. So this is almost a small system for the hardware. Besides, we also provide PC tools called the Q Navigator. So with the hardware and software, developers can testing the modules in the real network. In addition, we also cooperate with SD microcontroller. You can see with an Arduino Shield and ST Nucleo board. It provides a total environment for developers. The developers can use this environment to develop and testing their prototype, and it accelerates the development very well. Next, Quectel starts working on mobile IoT very early with operators, with infrastructure vendors, as well as GSMA from earlier time ago. So now we notice that these four applications is mainly the target market for mobile IoT technology. It's public utilities, personal life, industry, agriculture, and smart home. So we have working with over 400 customers on this technology, and some of them have already developed their devices and deploy their devices to the commercial project. And we have a very good feedback from these customers and these projects. Okay. In the end, I will give you some introduction of our company. Quectel. Quectel is a Chinese company, actually. We are founded in October 2010, and the headquarters is based in Shanghai, in We have 2 R&D centers. Worldwide, we have over 40 sales office and 70 plus distributors. Now we have over 500 employees, and monthly production capacity is over 5 million pieces. We are almost at the top of this module vendors industry, and not at the top in terms of revenue. So you can see Quectel actually provide very good price. Okay, and finally, I I'd like to tell you that Quectel has a very good footprint worldwide. So for any of customers, don't worry about the time difference, the technical supporting. So looking forward to work with different developers from any of the region, any of the country. Okay, thanks a lot. Now I'd like to hand over to the next speaker.
Yep, thank you very much. So next speaker, it's myself, Ronald Lebras. I'm head of technical strategy at Orange Group and also represent Orange at the GSMA LTE-M task force. So I will talk about Orange LTE-M Open IoT Lab that was open in 2017 in France. So the lab was open in middle of the year, inaugurated actually in April during a GSMA meeting in Paris, and it was the first LTE-M lab in Europe. There were a lot of other open IoT labs, but they were covering several technologies, but not specifically LTE-M. And for us, for Orange, the objective in opening this lab was to foster really the LTE-M ecosystem in Europe, and especially in European band, because there's been some focus on other regions initially, and so we wanted to ensure that when we launch LTE-M in our footprint in our European affiliates, we would have an ecosystem of device and of partners that would be able to provide some solutions. So that's the objective that Orange had in opening this lab. Of course, for the partners which are target for this lab, it's the object makers, it's the developers like maybe you are, and for them the objective will be that they get early access to a location with LTE-M connectivity even before the LTE-M is activated on the live networks, on the commercial networks in affiliates. So they can come and test the technology. They can come and compare it with other LPWA solutions, whether it's licensed or unlicensed, and they can start their development and prototyping based maybe on starter kits and development kits that was presented just earlier, or other type of product that they already have. And of course, for those who want to come to the lab, it's also a good way to get visibility within your Orange. We are a large organization with presence in 29 countries. We have some key assets in mobile networks, but not only in business services. And for them, it might be an interesting way to get in touch, to start working on a product, and then introduce this product to some of our business units and prepare their product launch, so their go-to-market. In terms of location, the Open Labs is located in our Orange Innovation Campus that's called Orange Gardens, just next to Paris. What can you find in the Orange Open IoT Lab? Well, basically we have a dedicated LTE-M network, so it was deployed by our partner, infrastructure partner, Ericsson. We have LTE-M deployment in 2 bands, so the 800 MHz and 1800 MHz, which will cover what we think is the 2 bands for European deployments. And you will have also early access to features that will be implemented in live networks, maybe in the next few months, or for some maybe early 2019. So you will have power saving mode, extended DRX. You'll have coverage extension mode A, and then we'll be able also to test mode B later. It's an indoor location, so it's a lab, but we also have one site which is a lamppost that an outdoor site in our campus. So we will also be able to do some mobility test between those two cells. What other tools we're providing? It's we can also offer a starter kit. So we had one in 2017 based on Sierra Wireless and Mango open source development board, but we will also have another one that will be selected quite soon. That will be even more involved with more advanced features. And what we are offering that is quite also important in this lab is we're offering two tools that allow you to really test LTE-M in a real condition. And one is the Faraday cage, and the other one is the power meter. And why they are really key to LPWA test in particular is because if we want to understand how the performance of LTE-M will be affected by the fact that the sensor is located in underground, whether we want to test how long, what will be the latency impact of being underground, for example. So this can be simulated using the Faraday cage, and it's something that's very difficult to test on a live network. So here you are in control environment, and it's really a good way to do the development. And on top of those tools, we provide also access to the IoT platform, so the Orange IoT platform, which is called Live Object. But also, if you have your own servers, we offer you the connectivity to your platform. So with that, of course, we have transfer support. So from technical experts from different range of skills, and also some marketing experts that can help maybe in guiding you in your go-to-market approach. In terms of usage and what we see as really the key aspect of this lab is that it can be used either for hardware and software development. So you have a prototype, you want to evaluate the LTE-M wireless connectivity. So here we have the Faraday cage, the power meter, we have logs, so you can make measurements in different conditions, focusing on the radio performance, or you can be focusing on end-to-end application. And usually, let's say the first step is the wireless connectivity only, and then it's the end-to-end connectivity. And here we are really helping the service and product makers to focus on the end-to-end IoT service, and here with also IoT protocols to their platform, support of CoAP, MQTT, and all sorts of protocols. And I think this is really the key in the Open IoT Lab, is that it's a place to focus on the end-to-end IoT connectivity, including access to the platform. And for that, you'll be able, if you're interested, to contact us to join through the website. There is a application form which is very simple to do, and we can get back in touch with you very quickly. So if you have a project, don't hesitate. We are here to help you. And so thank you for your attention. I'll pass to the next speakers, I think, from Deutsche Telekom.
Okay, so hello, my name is Martin Buch. I'm with DT for about 8 years now, and currently I'm responsible and working on prototyping with a new connectivity standard, narrowband Internet of Things. We do our own prototypes there, and we run a prototyping partner program, which I'm going to explain in the next minutes. So first of all, what's the basic intention of partnering with startups for a big company like DT? Well, first of all, startups bring a lot of speed and a lot of new experience and new ideas, new approaches, and that's really valuable for us. Of course, startups need strong partners, and I really liked what my colleague from Orange just showed you, is the support for really leveraging effects from new emerging technologies. So for DT, it's important to have very early adoptions with these technologies. Let me first show you shortly the way that we are supporting the startups. Mostly we focus there on emerging technologies like new connectivities. The example I'm going to show you is about narrowband Internet of Things. What you get there is very first access, even during trial periods. You get lots of know-how and tech support. This is very important when you work with emerging technologies, because even if they're standardized, not everything is already there when you're starting to work on it. And it's really interesting to share technical insights with our experts, and the startups and partners, of course, are just a lot faster if we work together on the same topic there. What we offer as well is continuous dialogue with our customers from a DT perspective, which is really worth for the partners how to, let's say, create the new product or the usage or the use cases of the emerging technologies. We're looking for partners there. So what else will the partners get there? Valuable partner contacts to partners and industries. Usually you're not alone on the world, and you need a lot of neighboring technologies that help to speed up the time to market for it. Finally, we have an internal incubator, which is called Huawei, and they're supporting all of our partnering programs from an administrative and operative perspective, like mentoring, coaching, and they have really an impressive track record of incubations for startups with a high-tech background. So when we think about partnership programs, we focus on emerging technologies like narrowband Internet of Things, and we try to find partners for this, because Deutsche Telekom is, let's say, bringing the IoT world to the customers, but usually we are not the ones really working on the devices for the IoT world. That's why we focus on partners that either have existing technology examples or that create new usages for those emerging technologies. And our interest is to have real-world examples even during a trial period right before the commercial launch of a new product. So let's have a look on one of our real programs. The youngest one is Narrowband Internet of Things Prototyping Hub. It was founded in early 2016. And so let's say in the very first phase of trial availability of NB-IoT as a technology. And we finished the whole program in March last year, when we had about 16 running products on narrowband Internet of Things. We have casted these partners in a very, very broad way. We casted them all over Europe and in Israel. This was done by Hubraum, our accelerator program, or the incubator we have. And we went about lots of different verticals and markets. We supported them with prototyping labs in Berlin, in Krakow in Poland, and in Bonn, where the headquarters of DT is located. And our partners got the very earliest access to NB-IoT together with the technology partners we had. And they started and finished implementing first products and first use cases. There are 4 of them basically shown. They are about smart lighting, like what FlashNet does. So they are able to control every single public lamp there. We have smart water management, we have smart waste management, and we have finally a very nice and illustrative use case, B&Me for smart agriculture. This is the control of beehives with low-cost IoT devices that monitor the health of a bee folk inside this beehive. And they were also part of the whole program. And at the end of the whole program, we had taken, I think, 3 or 4 of these program partners to the Mobile World Congress and let them show those products to the visitors. B&Me was there, AECA was there, I think. Yeah, and so this is basically what DT does about how to get new technologies going together with partners, startups, and even grown-ups. Yes, thanks for your interest, and let me hand over to the next speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Wang, over to you now from Huawei. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Wang Weiqiang, and I'm from Huawei IoT Network Solution Department. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share the topic about NB-IoT partners' journey with Huawei. In this slide, it displays that Huawei IoT focuses on ICT to enable industry's digital transformation. From the architecture, we can see Huawei supplies with IoT platform, which is mainly provided in PaaS mode, NB-IoT wireless network, and NB-IoT chips, which built in Huawei Light OS. Besides, the IoT ecosystem with partners is developed to meet IoT requirements, and partners supply applications based on IoT platform and NB-IoT devices embedded with NB-IoT chips or modules. From product design, development to service, on every stage, Huawei supplies all kinds of helps to scale up the partner solutions. On device development stage, Huawei supplies open protocol stack, which simplified partners' development, and we supply device cloud synergy for fast interconnection between devices and the platform. Partners can also get optimized RF antenna design to improve network performance. On integration verification stage, Huawei supplies open lab and technology supports. Partners can complete end-to-end pre-integration verification in Huawei Open Lab to ensure the large-scale commercial use of services. And the scenery-based technical proposals are released to enhance verification efficiency. On batch production stage, Huawei helps to build equipment tests to ensure the batch production quality of modules and chip. Modules are automatically connected to the platform for batch goods preparation. On installation acceptance stage, Huawei supplies network coverage, battery life assessment, and optimization. Also, the scenery-based acceptance test standard is made to ensure service quality. On operation and maintenance stage, Huawei supplies end-to-end fault demarcation to enhance the efficiency, and we can help partners to complete remote application upgrade by firmware over the air or FOTA. On device development stage, Huawei supplies security design to ensure a secure ecosystem, and partners can invocate easily and deploy fast with APIs featuring. Also, Huawei supplies open labs for joint innovation with partners. Some NB-IoT use cases are displayed in this slide. With the maturity and development of NB-IoT technology, more and more applications require NB-IoT services. We have some successful cases such as smart parking, smart water meter, Internet of Cars, bicycle sharing, smart street lights, washing machine, and so on. This slide is an example of water meter. The Sanchuan company was established in the year of 2004 in Jiangxi province. The company specializes in manufacturing all kinds of water meters. Now, Sanchuan company is the top 3 water meter factory in China. From August of 2015, Sanchuan began to develop NB-IoT water meter, and in the fourth quarter of 2015, Sanchuan and Huawei signed MOU. Huawei technical experts supply technologies to help Sanchuan's research and development, and Huawei supplies open lab to end-to-end integrate and test. Sanchuan takes part in some important exhibitions and forums to publicize the NB-IoT water meters and solutions, such as MWC in 2017, Huawei HCC in 2016 and 17, and CNIP forum, and so on. Sanchuan takes part in technology certification activity, and it had obtained Huawei compatible certification in the third quarter of 2016 and obtained CTTL certification in the fourth quarter of 2017. After that, Sanchuan started mass production in the third quarter of 2017 and began to start commercial use. In the fourth quarter of 2017, Sanchuan increased the commercial scale, and 10,000 water meters have been shipped at the end of 2017. In 2018, Huawei and Sanchuan will start the commercial project and optimize it to reach its optimal state. Along with the maturity of technologies and equipment, more and more water service companies pay attention to the NB-IoT water meter. I think NB-IoT water meters will become the focus in the world water service market. Also, other NB-IoT use cases will get better development and expanding the commercial scale. And okay, thank you for your listening. That's all.
Thank you, Raki. Sorry, Mr. Wang, thank you. And thank you to all the other speakers. So we've got some time now left for Q&A. So we've got some questions coming. A quick question for Raki. Where can the modules and kits be bought? Can you tell us about where they're available, Raki?
Okay. So as I introduced, we have a lot of sales office and distributors worldwide. For the European area, we have, I think, over 10 offices there. So the easiest way, maybe who propose this question, maybe you can write down our contact email address. It's info@quectel.com. So we have some special guys to reply to you immediately to forward to maybe your region, the colleague who responsible for the dedicated region. So info@quectel.com is the best way, I think.
Thank you, Raki. And Martin, you spoke about some of the applications suitable for mobile IoT technologies. Can you give us some other examples of what is specifically suited to mobile IoT or NB-IoT?
Well, thank you first for the question. For NB-IoT in general, nearly any use case is interesting, where low energy and very long durations are needed. So whenever you think of very tiny smart sensors that maybe just record one single value that is sent every 2 weeks into a central cloud, these are the intended cases of NB-IoT. NB-IoT is from its DNA structured for very low power usage. It's for very little amounts of data. It's for sparse communications. So it is for every kind of communication where something is not very often but reliable, sending some data into the cloud, and where some actions then are done on this. And as I just stated, these might be sensors that are, let's say, kind of disposable, that you just buy them for the next 10 years, and when the battery is empty, then you just throw them away. So, of course, these IoT devices need to be very cheap at the end.
Thank you. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, I think that probably covers it. So a question's come in for Ronan at Orange now. How many LTE-M base stations have you got deployed, and how do you use them to test geolocation solutions for IoT? So how many base stations are at your lab, and how do you use them to test geolocation solutions?
So at our lab, we have we have one an integrated network in the box with several sectors, and as I said, one is a remote site. So we have basically two BTS connected to this network in the box. For this lab, so of course, we have also a POC of LTE-M connectivity in other part of the country, whether it's in France, in Spain, and also now we have announced the launch in Belgium. But the question related to geolocation, currently in release 13 of LTE-M, and I think it's the same for NB-IoT, the geolocation capabilities are the same as existing LTE, so that meaning it's basically cell ID plus triangulation, but it's not been the focus of the release 13. We see geolocation as being more release 14 or release 15 key area for mobile IoT. So that means that until then, geolocation for mobile IoT will be either done with just the cell ID or with a GNSS sensors that will measure the fix, and this fix could be sent then by a mobile IoT connection. So we have a lot of trackers that can be tested, but usually the fix for the location is based on GPS.
Thank you, Ronan. And can you just tell us maybe the quickest way or the best way for a company to get in contact with a lab or an operator like yourselves, and how would they do that? So
on the slide that I showed, we have a website where you can, in fact, you can sign in to the Orange Partner Program, and you can apply to the lab directly. And I think on the GSMA Mobile IoT Open Labs, you have a link also to each individual lab. So each company who has opened a lab may have a different process, but usually it's an online enrollment. And then as soon as we receive a request online, what we do is we straight away we do a first exchange on the phone. We try to really identify the needs, whether the company who wants to join has the right bits? Do they have a module? Do they have a starter kit? Do they already have everything in place? A few things to sign from a legal point of view, and then they can come very quickly. So best way is to go through the web enrollment.
Okay, thank you. And someone has asked, is the NB-IoT and LTE-M cellular infrastructure being developed in America? I can quickly answer that. So yes, it is, and there are some live networks already in America. So if you take a look at our map online, you'll be able to quickly see the networks that are available in America as well. So then there's a question I'd like to ask Martin. Will NB-IoT devices be able to access any server on the internet, or will they be restricted only to operator specific platforms?
Thanks for that question. As far as I can see, this depends on the preferences of the carrier itself. So DT is having two basic options how to use narrowband connectivity. The first is an entire free model where the customers just get the access and do everything on their own. So they get, from a technical perspective spoken, a so-called APN on the network, and this APN is tunneled with a VPN tunnel to a local server farm or into the cloud. So the big customers always have the possibility to run their entire environment like they did before, and they just switch the connectivity. But as well, we as a company also offer cloud systems, so they get an entire infrastructure which is put upon NB-IoT, where the customers can use software and the whole IoT suite from DT. Did this answer your question? I hope I got it right.
Yeah, thank you, Martin. That's great. Can I ask Quectel, Raki from Quectel, you've been asked if you can please tell us a bit more. Can you elaborate on the red board and the green board? So can you tell us a bit of the difference of the two boards that you showed?
Okay. So I don't notice that I show red board in my slides. So I think it's a question about the developer evaluation board. There are some different boards. Quectel provides the 4 or 3 or 4 modules, different modules supporting both narrowband IoT and LTE-M. So we also developed some different evaluation boards to compatible with these modules. So that's why we have maybe in the slides there is two boards to work with different modules.
Thank you. And a question maybe for Ronan. What do you see as the most important criteria for selecting an operator?
Well, selecting an operator, it's difficult to say because, in fact, a lot of use cases are, let's say, global use case. So what we see with the company applying to come to our lab is that usually they don't want to do a product just for one country. So it's more the technology that matters and whether they are choosing the right technology for the right use case. So and that's why it's important to really do the right analysis of the use case. The operator sometimes they may do a product that will be used by their own customers. They don't know where if it's going to stay in a domestic or if it's going to cross the border. So in that case, what is really key is that the application and the product has been made from the beginning with this idea that it's likely to cross the border, so to be used in different countries with different operators. If you're working on a specific use case where it's going to be tied to a country, well then, coverage is one thing, support, openness of the technology, and openness to future-proofness of the technology is maybe one thing. There's the fact that by choosing the right technology at the beginning, you can maybe do later firmware upgrade, software upgrade to your device and make the device evolve with time is a good choice. But it's difficult to think in this current world with IoT that you're choosing not only the operator but the technology and the operator. It's probably from all the examples we've had, it's a global view, at least in a region like in Europe. It's a global view that's needed.
Thanks, Ronan. And I think you did briefly mention this in your slides, but someone has asked what LTE bands will Orange support in Europe, and is there a list online or some information online?
So on the list of the bands available at our lab, it's band 20 and band 3, and it's because that reflect the priority bands for our deployment in Europe. Band 20 is the 800 megahertz. Usually it's the one that would provide the best coverage. So this is a priority. But in some cases, in some countries, it's not available everywhere because maybe we started with different bands to start with the 1800. So that's why we focus on 20 and 3, which is with those two bands you will have national coverage everywhere in Europe, at least on the LTE layer.
Okay, thank you, Ronan. And then a question either for Martin or yourself again, Ronan, but have either of you seen any medical equipment connectivity kits? So have you seen any health use cases, maybe kits that you can use within a health solution?
Martin here. Well, yes, I did. There are, at least for the transport of insulin, I hope it's in English the same like in German, I'm afraid I don't know the translation. This is monitored by NB-IoT senders. The advantage of NB-IoT in that case is the low energy consumption and the possibility to intrude much more in depth into buildings where you have a better coverage, where the classic connectivities don't reach the equipment. So at least in some cases I did see something.
Yeah, and to complete
Thank you, Martin.
I can also say that we have seen also some modem with USB dongle that are specifically ruggedized to be connected to medical equipment. So it could also be that it's LTE-M. That's because of this the data throughput that can be in both uplink and downlink can be reaching a few hundred kilobits. It can also be used for preventive maintenance or to download and upload like medical logs. And so we know of some application where this dongle, USB dongle, can be used to be connected to a medical machine like defibrillator or things like that.
Thank you, Ronan. That's great. A quick question then for Wei Kuang at Huawei. Do you have any GPS-less tracking solutions? So any tracking solutions without GPS for power consumption optimization? Do you have any solutions with that? Wei Kuang, did you get that question?
Yeah. I think the release R14 will have the location without GPS, but now not released. It's being tested.
Okay, so I believe it's not yet released, but it's being tested now and will be in release 14. Thanks for that answer. So, a question for Martin: what are the innovations in business models at the moment for NB-IoT?
Well, of course, I don't know them in total or not in general. At least what we can see is that there is a shift from hub-based communication to little sensors towards a direct communication from sensors into clouds. So whenever you think of smart meters, you had in former or also recently a hub-spoke-based approach where we have a kind of a bridge somewhere in some building, and this bridge collects a lot of sensor data via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth Low Energy or maybe even some other wireless field buses. And then this bridges send the data into the cloud. And this approach is more and more going to be replaced by little sensors that directly are connected with the cloud and send the data directly into the cloud. So at least this is one thing where I see this innovation changing the current model of smart meters.
Thank you, Martin. That was great. And I think that brings us to a close with our questions and answers. Thank you for everyone that submitted during the webinar. I'll hand back to Kendra now to close up. Thank you. And thanks again to everyone.
Okay, thank you for attending this Fierce Markets webinar and for submitting so many great questions. I'd like to thank our speakers for participating and GSMA and Huawei for presenting today's webinar. This webinar has been recorded. You will be able to access the recording within 24 hours using the same audience link that was sent to you earlier. Thank you again for joining, and we look forward to seeing you at future events.